Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Redline. Today we have a truly inspiring guest whose journey and achievements are remarkable. Born in the beautiful town of Ulqin, Montenegro, she immigrated to the United States in 1991. She has built a stellar career in the world of banking as a managing director of one of the largest independent financial services companies in Europe. But her contributions don't stop there. She has been a dedicated advocate for the Albanian community through involvement with various nonprofit organizations. She is the co-founder of APEN, fostering connections and opportunities within the Albanian American community. Her commitment to humanitarian projects back home highlight her as a true global citizen. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Etrita Ibroci. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. It's an honor. I know that, as I mentioned, you came to the United States in 1991. Tell us a little bit about your journey coming to the United States and how difficult that was for you.
Well, first, before I start, I wanted to say what an amazing and wonderful thing you guys are doing. I think it's a beautiful platform that you created by fostering positive dialogue amongst Albanian Americans and, of course, other Americans of other nationalities here in the United States. But again, it's a beautiful initiative, and I wish you lots of success.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very happy to be here, and I feel honored that you chose me, even though there's so many Albanian Americans that have come to this country maybe in the 50s or 60s and 70s, and later on, like myself in the 90s, who have built their lives from scratch, as I have. It hasn't been an easy journey. People that see me today, I do live in a beautiful house, as Iliriana and you know.
Yes.
It's been a long and tough journey, and when they see my house and how I live today, they think that,
I thought it was easy.
that it was easy.
It
But
wasn't.
I always say it was almost 3 decades of blood,
Sweat and
tears. Exactly, you remember my words. But no kidding aside. So I decided to come to the U.S. as an immigrant, and as many other Albanian Americans who were faced with war. And it's not just one. We've had 4 wars in ex-Yugoslavia over a decade, which destroyed our country. So I was searching for opportunities, not just for myself, but also for my family. So I made the big leap, and one of the biggest decisions of my life, to come to the United States. I had an aunt, so, she helped me. Her and her family were instrumental in those first 6 months, because when you come as an immigrant, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, and you have a suitcase and a couple $100 in your pocket, and you just turned 18 years old, it's not easy. A lot goes on through your mind, and you want to do so much, and then you are excited and optimistic, but at the same time, when you come, reality hits, because you have to earn money to live, to eat, to clothe yourself. But most importantly for me, it was to go to college. So I have my 4 S's that I use in my life. First one is survival, and then you go through security, then success, and then kind of later on in your life is significance. So those early years, the first, I want to say 6 to 8 years, were fight for survival here in this country. But I was blessed to have my aunt, as I said, and her family. I started working in a pizzeria. I was there for 6 years and 7 days a week. And there I met a lot of wonderful people that helped me. And with that money, I actually paid for college. I brought my whole family to the U.S. And, I went into the next stage of my life, which, as I mentioned, called security. Because once you go through those tough periods as an immigrant, and you graduate, then the first great job comes, and then, you start earning money, you buy your house, and you live in that security. You have that security feeling.
Right.
Then in my 30s, it was building my career, and it was at Credit Suisse. I was there for almost a decade. And
So
then,
just to take a pause. That's a lot.
take a pause, yeah. I have 2 more S's.
So let's go first to the first S, right,
Yeah.
which is survival. I think that's important because that kind of shapes your character.
Absolutely.
When you come into the country. So you decided to go to college, and you studied finance, right?
Yeah.
And you graduated with a BBA in economics.
Economics, and also I studied political science.
Political science. And then later on, you did your MBA.
I did my MBA right after, almost 6 months after that. I did a master's in finance and also management systems at Fordham University. Yeah.
Did you always want to go into finance world, or is it something a passion of
No.
yours? Or
I have, like many people, I have lots of passions. My first passion was the stage. I actually love to perform, as some of my closest friends know, and some of others who might not know, growing up in Ulqin, we didn't have, fancy, movie theaters. And so what me and some of my friends and cousins did, we built our own drama plays and our own performances during summers. For like a decade, we had everybody in my little town come and see us perform. And it was on like the top of my garage in my house. But besides that, no, my first passion was because my country was going through so much hardship and wars, I wanted to be an ambassador at the United Nations, which is why I chose to study political science. But after 2 years, I decided it's wonderful to save the whales, but it's also important to know how to make money and understand how the world works, how trade and development and how to make a country successful. So I became fascinated with the world of economics and finance. So I added another major.
So you decided to get into the world of banking, right?
Understanding how the world works from a trade, development, growth, potential.
And you have been, so your first position in the banking industry was what, sales, or was it trading?
Actually, for those that want to go into finance, I've actually done it all. I've done all the different aspects of finance, and finance is endless. So I started in consulting. That's while I was in grad school, and it was an interesting experience for 6 months. And from there on, I went into investment banking, and I did that for a year at CIBC Oppenheimer. But I didn't like it. It was, for those that understand finance, it was, doing pitch books and looking at 10Ks and 10Qs. And it wasn't also intellectually rewarding. And that's where I switched and I went to Credit Suisse, and I started on the research side. So I did research, and I wrote research reports, and I also did a bit of macro. And just so that you know what that means, it's strategy reports, like looking at the, world economic stage. And if there's a problem in a certain country, we would analyze it, and we would find ways how to help our clients also understand and weather it by investing in certain stocks. And then while I was at Credit Suisse, which again, that's where I built my career. So from research, I went into the private banking side, and there I did 3 years, and I loved it. I got to see the world. I traveled, from Hong Kong, Switzerland, London, and Zurich, London, and New York. Those were kind of the 4 major cities where we did a lot of business, and it was really, really a lot of fun. And that was, I guess, one of the best parts of my career. And after that, I switched to sales, and that's what I've been doing for, almost 17 years at my current job.
So from research to private banking to sales, being a woman in this finance industry must have been very difficult at times, and you must have faced a lot of challenges, especially at that time period. Can you explain to us what were the challenges that you have experienced when you first started, and do those challenges still exist today, and what have you learned from them?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And, as a female in finance and banking, everybody will have their own experiences. There is no magic sauce to the success or how you weather the challenges. My motto is always, you have to adapt to the situation, you have to embrace them, and you have to find a way how to overcome it. It's kind of like a Navy SEAL motto that I use. In the beginning, it was, I wouldn't say it was difficult. It was, you really have to roll up your sleeves and just do the work. It was also different times. The 90s are different from today. There you had to, everybody was equal. Yeah, you had to prove yourself. So everybody was really equal. Like those first 3 years, you had to prove yourself. Female, male, young, old, it really didn't matter. You just had to show what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and kind of find the niche that you also want to pursue.
Did you feel you had to work extra hard? compared
You
to
probably know me
compared to
since
your-
you are one of my best friends. I always work very hard. I always go the extra mile, and I always tell, everybody that asks me for advice, do go the extra mile.
Right.
It doesn't matter, the female, male, just go the extra mile. I like being 2-3 steps ahead, and I like to be prepared as well. And then throughout my career, I mean, difficulties mostly came from, the financial markets, because, there were different crises that we were faced with. So again, it was more like your skill set rather than your gender. Now, coming to like today's time, I do see less and less women in this field and in this.
What do you think that is?
I think it has to, again, this is my personal experience. It has to do with, the choice that you make if you want to, start a career or you want to slow down. And some do take a break or a step back because it is a very intense field.
Mm-hmm.
It does require a lot of travel and it's long hours. So, yes, we love to say that we can do it all. I'm a strong believer in that, but at the same time, you also have to be realistic, and you want to give your most to, your family, building your own family, or your parents and your siblings, enjoy life. So, and that's where I'm at in my life and in my stage in my life right now.
So you had a very busy life from teenage years in Ulqin, where you were involved in drama and different competitions, and making that hard decision to come to America. When you came to America, little to no family or support, you had to really work really hard to make your dream come true, which is to go to college so you can make a career for yourself. And as we just heard, you really accomplished a lot. And I'm very, very impressed and grateful to have you as one of my closest friends. But what I want you to explain to us is, how do you keep a balance in your life when you are in such a high-profile career in finance, but at the same time, you have to, did you have any sacrifices in your personal life due to, this drive of trying to make it?
Yeah. Again, it's a very good question. And for me to answer that, again, this comes from my personal view and my personal experience. We all make certain decisions, and, we choose certain paths in life. I had to go through I had to struggle at a much younger age in my life, and I had to fight for everything from, going to school and then paying for it, and also paving the way for my family to come to the U.S. So, yes, I did sacrifice maybe part of my youth as well, because, United States in the 90s was a lot harsher and to navigate, and also, to make it financially. However, I don't have any regrets. I love my family, and I would have always, I would have done it over and over again. The only regret I have is, and that's my advice when I do speak to kind of the younger generations today, is to take time for yourself and, kind of treat yourself and do things for yourself. At times I forgot a little bit about it because you love your career and you just want to be better. And again, in my field, we also faced a few crises. So, your job sometimes can be at risk, and a lot of things change very fast in the finance and the banking world. So you have to navigate and adapt to it. So yes, there were sacrifices, but as I said before, maybe I'm a little, I've entered my 50s. It's a
You
great
don't look
time.
like you're in your
It's a
50s.
great time in one's life. So I made certain decisions now to to lead a more, not quiet life, but just focusing on
More of your personal kind of
things that I wanted to do before. Not as much as traveling, but just spending even more time with my family, with my niece and nephew who are growing up and are just becoming beautiful humans. And spending even more time with my father. I lost my mother 3 years ago, which was a big, it made a big impact on me, and it made me also realize some things. And again, take a step back and just enjoy life more.
What are some things you like to do now?
Well, I work out a lot. For those of you that know
That's
me,
why
you
you don't
guys.
look 50.
Although I've always been athletic. But now I've developed a bigger passion for boxing. I'm actually very good at Muay Thai boxing, thanks to my trainer of 10 years, whom I love. I love music. Don't laugh, but I am very big into K-pop.
Yes, she
And I do like
It's incredible.
K-dramas. Yes. I guess I'm focusing on things that make me happy. I'm in that stage in my life of just, doing simple things.
Is that what you feel like keeps you grounded?
Yeah, we talked about this. You can be extraordinary your whole life, and I pushed
You were over that.
to
now.
be extraordinary in my in my teenage years, my 20s, my 30s, even in my 40s. Now I just want to live a little bit more of an ordinary life and just enjoy life and I read a book a week. In multiple
basically,
languages.
We need to normalize
Yeah.
ordinary.
Absolutely. Because I feel like things have changed so much over the last 30 years that I've been in this country, and everything is faster, everything is more aggressive, everything is just has become also more superficial. And I just want to go back to simplicity and just, enjoy life. And one thing that I also started doing, and my advice to anyone that leads intense lives and intense careers, take 30 minutes every day and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Just go for a walk. Don't do nothing. Don't check your phones. Just go for a walk. Look up at the sky. Again, simple things. But the most important thing right now in my life is I've, as Ilyana and Ervin know, I've made a big decision is to adopt, and I'm adopting from Albania. I'm in the process, so inshallah, this is my year that it happens. And another advice to all of you there is don't be afraid to make big decisions. It doesn't matter if you make them in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s or 50s, as in my case. So that's why I'm in that stage of my life. Yes, I went through all the sacrifices, and no, it wasn't easy. I learned a lot. I'm more closer to my family than ever, which is something that's very important to me. And just now cultivating all those friendships and all those partnerships.
You're really reaping the rewards of all the
Yeah.
hard work and sacrifice
Yeah.
you have done throughout the last 3 decades.
I
of your
still
life.
work hard, though.
You
I
do,
still
she
work
does.
because I'm probably some of
can
my
attest.
colleagues might watch this, or my boss, but I still work very hard. And,
She does.
I'm in that office at 6 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah.
So I know you mentioned, you said you have no regrets, but would you advise yourself back then to maybe take a different course when it comes to your personal life, right? Especially to maybe, have a family, build a family of your own. Would you tell yourself that going through the process?
Yes. We're talking now about more personal things, and which are important, and I'm very happy to be open about them and talk about them, because it's a big part of one's life, and one of the biggest decisions, right, in life.
And
is
your experiences and advice can help someone who's listening.
exactly two of the biggest decisions that you have to make is right when you get married and when you have children. Some might differ, but I would say that those are two of the most important ones. So I did try that. I was hoping to meet someone. I was hoping to meet my Albanian knight on the, my Skanderbeu, but it was a bit.
Skanderbeu, where are you? If you're out there,
it was
we're looking
hard.
for you.
It was hard.
You're out there.
I feel like today's Albanian youngsters have many more opportunities, especially with social media. But
No,
we didn't
it's become
have.
a lot harder, actually.
You think so?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah, you guys found each other.
I mean, it took us how
through
many years?
APEN. Through APEN.
But we got to get into
Yeah, we
APEN
gotta
as
get into
well.
APEN, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so what I want to say is, if you do want to make that decision of starting a family, my suggestion is not, my advice is don't wait until you find that perfect moment. You make your first million, you buy your 5th car, or whatever metrics you use to define success.
That's a good point.
But when you meet that person and you feel like that person is the right person for you and it's your partner, then go for it. It was more difficult for me because, again, being in the field that I was,
Especially at that time period too.
yeah, it was more, people maybe didn't understand me, men didn't understand me, or maybe they were intimidated, which I
You think
don't.
Albanian men were intimidated by you?
Oh,
I-
100%.
I don't.
100%.
I don't. No,
Why?
Because at that time, back in the 90s to early 2000s, when Albanian women in America were going to college, it was the women going to college. Not all.
Yeah.
A lot of men didn't go. So there was
Yeah.
an intimidation factor of, an educated woman, and they weren't educated.
Unfortunately,
controversial.
I did have those experiences. So there were some misunderstandings, but once, people would get to know me, they would see that I'm very down to earth. Just because I have few degrees, it doesn't matter. There's so many more people, so many women out there that are more accomplished than me. But again, it was different times. And sorry, Edwin, when I did start at St. John's, there were not that many women. There were very few.
Yeah.
There's a lot more today, and it warms my heart when I see these beautiful young women.
In the finance world, you mean?
In the finance
In
world,
college.
just
Or
in general.
Yes,
In general.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
In general. Yeah.
And today there's actually more men and women now going to college, and people are starting relationships earlier.
Yeah.
They're having it all. They're having and the education and the careers, and they're finding their future husband or wife through college
And they have more platforms.
They have more platforms, exactly.
Be it APEN, be it your wonderful podcast, being, all the Albanian American student organizations at every college. I mean, you can start a student organization with 2-3 people, and we did start one in 92, 93. Gosh, I'm going way, way back. But we did start it, and it started with 25 people, and it became 50 and then 100, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see it grow. And nowadays, it's powerful.
Yes, the platforms have increased. However, that can complicate things, right? Because the more options you have, the more you undecided you are who you want to, But,
I'm not going to comment on that. I can see people commenting now in the, I'm not going to comment on that.
So going back to do you have a type for a man that you want to date?
Of course, Skanderbeu.
Well,
We got
Burri.
Skanderbeu died, 1,000 years ago.
I'm all about.
I don't know how long ago. But
I'm all about, and Iliriana knows that, strong character,
okay.
hardworking.
Does it have to be Albanian?
Preferably, yeah. I'm very patriotic, and
Okay. That's good.
I
I mean, you gotta know what you
I love my people.
She
but
also wants someone who's family oriented, someone who has respect for women and their family and themselves.
absolutely, family oriented is key.
Yes.
For anyone that knows me, there's
Someone who can
always,
cook. I mean,
No, I can
Etrita's
cook
a
very
wonderful
well. I
cook,
can cook.
actually, but
yeah,
that'd be nice.
very, very. Family is very important to me, as you guys know.
Is religion important?
My religion is love, first
There
and
you go. That's a good one.
foremost.
Okay.
It's not something that defines me. I'm Muslim, and I respect my religion, but there's also a large population of Albanians that are Catholic, and I grew up with them in Ulqin, and I worked with them. So I'm open. It's
okay.
again, this is personal and it's a
Right.
sensitive topic, but yeah, I'm
No,
open.
We're gonna try to find you a date. So it's
Albanian-
fine. Let us know what you're
Albanian.
looking for.
First and foremost, it's Albanian.
Okay, so Albanian, religion doesn't matter. Strong character. Okay.
Strong character, family oriented,
Family-oriented.
handy.
Oh, a handyman.
Because
Oh, yes,
I
a
am not.
handyman. You don't have to
I
cook,
am
just
not.
be a handyman.
I call up Iliriana to set up basic things in my house. But
I'm the contractor.
But-
I would love to, sorry for interrupting, but I would love for us to talk about APEN, because
Sure.
APEN, for me, was one of the best things that happened in my life back in 2007. And when I was introduced to APEN, it was the first that I have known about that really united the youth. So APEN, for those who don't know, is the Albanian American Professionals and Entrepreneur Network, where Etrita was the co-founder of that organization, and is where I met Etrita, and we became best friends, and where I met my husband. So
Yes.
please talk to us about that
Absolutely.
idea, the inception, what was the goal, and I am so proud to say that we are in 2024, and it is still going
it's still
strong.
going, absolutely. So yeah, it started almost 2 decades ago, and it was an idea. I think a lot of us had that idea in our minds. We just needed the moment just start it, and that's how my one of my dear friends, Andi Balta, hi Andi, a very successful Albanian now living in Albania. So we just started talking about it, and we decided to, why don't we just do a simple meeting and just see who's going to show up and just start talking about it without really having a specific agenda. But have it more of an open dialogue. So we thought we would have 20, 30 people, and about 250, almost 300 people showed up. So that was also tricky to find a location, but thank God with Albanians, we all own like a building.
Somebody.
Yeah, we know someone,
we
knows somebody. So we did it at a hotel, thanks to one of our dear friends or colleagues who work there. And there, again, you have 300 people, so we divided everyone into groups. And again, it was just a very big open platform where we decided to just come up with 5 things what we want this organization to be. And that's how it all started. And we wanted to keep it as simple as possible, a platform for networking, for getting to know each other, for helping each other, finding each other jobs or internships, and just also really getting to know each other, because when you come in the United States as a young Albanian, be it in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 20s, now, there's always a bit of also a lack of identity. You don't know with whom to associate with, where to go, what to do, who I am. Again, now it's different. Now it's more developed. Now, there's so many Albanian Americans that are accomplished and just doing amazing things. But at that time, we just wanted something simple, something to just bring people together and just get to know each other and appreciate each other's achievements.
So has there been any success stories, professional? I know, yes, there's been a lot of success stories where people met at APEN and they got married, they had kids. So you guys had 2 objectives in my point of view. First, you had you kind of brought all the young Albanians, the professional ones, right? Educated ones to meet each other, which serves a great purpose. But from a professional aspect of it, has there been any movement with that?
I have actually a story.
Yeah,
Back in
cool.
2009, I graduated with my executive MBA from Wagner College. And at that time, Edwin was one of the acquaintances that every time I would go to APEN, we always would talk. So you started, same people started coming. So you actually started to build a strong network of friends where you had someone who was a lawyer, someone who was in accounting or in finance. And you started to know who to go to for different questions and advice and, just career advice. And Edwin asked me, "Oh, what's new with you?" I'm like, "Oh, I just graduated." And he's like, "From what?" And I explained about my program. And that's where we networked and was able to transfer that knowledge to Edwin. And then I found out, fast forward 2022, when I saw him again after 8 years not seeing him, that he actually completed the executive MBA program from Wagner and took that advice and actually carried it through. So a success story is...
Well, that's for education.
Yes, but it's the direction of a career.
No, I get it, yeah.
But that's the point of this platform, to advise, to grow, to build each other up.
But also to get to know each other. I know it sounds very simplistic, but just connecting with someone and sharing the experiences and also mentoring. I did a lot of mentoring. I still do, maybe not, using the APEN platform. Young professionals come to me directly and I just share my experiences in my field. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about medicine or politics. But I think another beautiful thing that we did during those years is creating different types of events based on specific fields. We did APEN art event a couple of times with the help of Fadil Barisha. We started, first one that we did was at his studio. So it was bringing Albanian American artists. And there's so many, again, it's finding them and then showcasing them and getting them to know our community. So if it's singers, fashion designers. And the second one was actually, we even had a fashion show. We did an APEN tech event, which was, again, we loved it. And it was broadcasted live, so Albanians in Kosovo, Albania, anywhere they could watch it. And it was amazing to, again, find how many Albanian tech entrepreneurs are out
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot.
And
yeah.
that not just created certain apps, but, and not to mention today with ChatGPT, what's happening. And it was also initiated by an Albanian tech entrepreneur. What else did we do? We did an APEN success stories,
Yes.
which was our most attended. I think we had close to 400 attendees. And that's where we chose Albanian Americans from our community that were success stories in their fields. And again, it was a very simple event, just sharing experiences and just sharing that personal, journey. And it touched a lot of people because a lot of people came back and said, wow, I did,
There's multiple panelist events as well where
Exactly.
they were focused either on finance or, strong women of today and talking about their different fields.
we had women entrepreneurs and women teachers. So we had lots of, and not to
And we had all the
mention
dignitary events as
events.
well.
Those were
Yes,
at the
I
Russian
remember
tea
those.
room. So we were not, obviously, APEN is not a political organization. However, it was a good platform to get to meet
Yeah, of
who our
course.
dignitaries
Yeah.
are and tell them,
Right.
I remember
We had Edi Rama and we
Edi Ra-
had Salih Berisha
Yeah,
and we had
yeah.
President Nishani.
Nishani.
Shani, yeah.
But what I remember from those dignitary events is the dignitaries coming on stage, and the first thing they said was, "It's so beautiful to see all these young
Professionals.
professionals, and just
Yeah.
with the smiles on their faces, and and that's what
Yeah,
I
no.
took away."
And it was also great to have representatives of us, the youth, in a round table
Mm-hmm.
with the Prime Minister of Albania to talk about healthcare in Albania and in America.
Absolutely.
What are the differences? Talk about finance. Talk about just the construction business. All these different things, so he can see our perspective of where,
Yeah.
like, what our experiences are
Yes.
and what he could bring back to the country.
So, speaking of that, you've done a lot of humanitarian work back home, and you're involved with a lot of projects. Tell us a little bit about that and anything that you want to share when it comes to doing humanitarian work.
Thank you. That's one of my favorite things. So as I started talking about my 4 S's, the first one being the fight for survival in the United States and, developing that kind of security base for you and your family, and then getting to that stage of success in career, personal life. And then you get to the point in your life where I call it significance. Significance, meaning living a life with dignity and also giving back. So I haven't been as active in the community as I was in before, since COVID started, because once I chose to adopt, also maybe taking it a notch slower in my career, I also decided I wanted to do more in my town, my beautiful town of Ulqin. So I do these are not major projects, but they're very dear to me.
And they're very impactful.
Thank you. And I work together with an organization called Trojetona. One of the members there and founders is a very dear friend of mine. So, and it's a group of us from Ulqin. So, be it help a karate club, pay the membership fee for these kids, or working with a girls volleyball team from one of the villages in Ulqin, or helping rebuild a school in one of the villages there. Again, it's something that it's just something that I love to do, and I will continue to do until I can. And the most important thing here is children. So it's all about helping children in need, children that just need just a little bit of kind of support, be it putting new AC units in a school, again, in a remote village in Ulqin, or rebuilding the entire school together with a group of other people. I will be there and I will be part of it. And I look forward to
wonderful.
this trip now. I'm going to Ulqin the first 2 weeks in August. So I'm going to go and meet a lot of these kids in person.
Oh, very nice.
Just want to see how they're doing and
Etrita
what
has
else
a
can
heart
we
of
do.
gold. I've never met someone like her. And
Oh,
I'm
gosh,
so
thank
grateful
you.
that she's been in my life for the last
And
2
I'm grateful
decades.
that I have you in my
love
life. It's a little girly love here.
Yeah. Kind of stuck in between.
We love you too,
Yes.
You're my brother-in-law now.
Yes. So, what advice would you give to young professionals who are going into the finance industry? Any tips that you can tell me right off the bat?
In terms of advice, I guess also I would see them as kind of lessons in life because they're really interchangeable. I'm always about being solutions driven. That's something that has always helped me. Always be solutions driven, never be, the one always creating problems or just thinking about negativity. Be prepared. As Cervantes said, being prepared is half the battle won. So it's very important that that you're always prepared. Adapt, be adaptable. Your first, your second, even your third job might not be the perfect ones, but find a way
It's
how to
giving
adapt.
your experience.
Find a way how to learn from it, and then figure out, the next step and what that you want to pursue. What else can I say? I also want to say, make sure that you keep learning. So not just about reading books but speaking, have a mentor, have someone in your life that you can go to and just have a conversation about. It could be a topic related to work or to life. Just have someone, that you can go to and learn from.
Yeah, I think it's important because you mentioned that before. I think mentoring is very important, especially in the corporate world, right? We have different backgrounds. I was saying, I work at a bank too, so but I'm in HR, and I feel like mentorship is so crucial, especially for these individuals they're starting their careers, any type of career, right? To have someone with that wealth of experience and knowledge to kind of teach them and guide them through, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And I think we should be doing more of that as a community, to have a mentorship program where we can talk about, our backgrounds, some of the things that we had a challenge with that we navigated through and we learned from it, right? It will be something that will make their life easier if we kind of put it out there to say, avoid this, don't do that. I would recommend you do this. I think it's very important.
I cannot agree more with you. And I'm always open to mentor. And it warms my heart if someone comes to me because it's also the respect that they have for me, and they could go to anyone else. So I'm always willing to help out. And in terms of lessons, never forget to feed your brain and your heart and your body. Meaning, go for that walk. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you eat healthy. I know this might sound simplistic, but the world that we live in is again. It's fast, it's brutal, it's aggressive, and also dirty if we're going to talk about climate change and what we eat. So it's very important that you just lead a clean life, and maybe not as an advice, but more a lesson in life. Find a way to also contribute, give back.
Tell us a fun fact about Etrita Ibroci.
Fun fact. Well, I told you I'm very big into boxing and Muay Thai.
Something we don't know.
Well, I know something about her.
What do you know?
Well, she speaks 7 languages.
I do.
Oh my God! Tell us about the 7 languages.
I do.
And she's trying to learn Korean too, so make it 8.
So, first of all, being European, we all speak 2-3 languages, so it's really not a big deal. It's a big deal when you come here in the United States, but no, truly, I love speaking all the languages.
You got English, what else?
Of course, Albanian, English, Serbo-Croatian, which is kind of my second mother language since I come from Montenegro, Spanish and Italian, both languages which I learned on my own, and they're actually pretty easy to learn. And then German and Russian. German I also picked up on my own, and Russian I had to study in school, although I'm a little bit rusty. And then now I picked up Korean, but it's so much harder than I thought it would be. So it's taking
French.
me.
Do you speak French?
No French.
Okay,
no
good.
French.
She works for a French bank.
French Italian. We're owned by French and Italian, but no French. It's enough. 7 is enough. Now the key is to keep the fluency. So I try to read, when I read my books, I read multiple books in multiple languages just to keep the fluency.
And
I'm not bragging
and also
here,
watching movies with the subtitles.
Yeah,
so
I need to keep the fluency up. So unless I speak to myself, I have to find ways how to.
So you mentioned into K-pop now.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Tell us a
Oh my
little bit
God. I
about
can
it.
see the
Open the
comments.
Pandora box.
I
She
can
is
see
the only person I know who is so into K-pop which
It's
is
fun. It's fun. No,
you're
seriously.
into all the
I l-
telenovelas and all the
I love all.
music.
First of all, I love all.
Why? Why do so many people love K-pop?
Well,
What is
first
it?
of all,
what
I
is-
love all types of music.
She does.
Number one, Albanian. When you come to my house, I play everything from
that's true.
Albanian to French to Spanish to Italian. I have it all.
I got introduced to K-pop music the first time I came to a house. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this?
I don't know. I guess it just makes me happy, and I'm
There's a positive message.
positive messages. I can't listen to songs anymore that have either 3 words and there's just too much vulgarity. I just want happy and positive, good positive messages,
Right.
and it's just nice beat.
And that's why you like the K-drama too, right? Because it's just very positive.
Yeah,
and
it's just very positive, and then just
it's all
I
about
don't know.
love.
It's all about love. And honestly, to me, life is all about love. Again, it might sound simplistic.
That's why her religion, she said, was love.
It's all about love, and it's the magic inside of us and the power of love. That's what drives me. It's the love for my family. It's the love for the job that I do. It's the love for my friends. It all comes down to love. Beatles, that's why they are the best band in the world. It's always about love. All you need is love. Do, 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 do. I used to sing.
What else fun fact about you want to share?
Gosh, fun fact. I'm a very good swimmer.
Oh, there's a funny
Gosh.
story here. So back in 2013, I went to Ulqin for the first time, and I just wanted to float. I told Etrita, this vacation, don't ask me questions, don't tell me what to order at a restaurant. Everyone does everything. I'm just floating. And then I literally floated in the Adriatic Sea, and I had to have Etrita save me. Thank God she could swim.
Yeah. All I kept thinking was your mom's words in my head. What did you do? You let my daughter get into some rough waters. But no, I love to swim. Growing up in Ulqin, the Adriatic Sea is one of my passions. Besides,
She's a very good swimmer.
thank you. Still am.
So I guess another question I have is, what keeps you motivated and passionate about your work in general?
It's learning every day. Finance is just because we live in such a fast world and everything is at the tip of your fingers. And everything is instant within seconds, and there's also a lot of volatility in the stock market. So every day is a new day. Every day is an interesting day. A company blows up somewhere in Europe, or the economic data in another country impact the rest of the world. So it's just, it's fascinating. It is very volatile. It is. You do have to have a certain character to deal with it. You can't just become depressed and just think like it's just going to go away. But at the same time, I love my clients. I think that's what drives me. It's helping my clients, and I cover a lot of them. It's helping them, being there for them, visiting them. I travel a lot to Canada because I cover I cover a lot of Canadian investors. So, and another thing that makes me passionate about my job is our analysts. We have, for those of you that know that are in finance, analysts is also what make my job interesting and easy, because it's their knowledge and their insights that give me knowledge and insights that I then give
make
to
those
my clients.
decisions.
Yeah.
Very well.
Etrita, I want to say that I'm so happy that you came onto our show. And I am hoping that the inspiration you have given me throughout the last 2 decades that I've known you, you can inspire others through this platform. I have to say that there's been a lot of people that I just casually mentioned that we're going to have you on the show, and they are super excited to see you because they haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know you because of all of the work you have done, not only in the finance sector, but also for the communities. And you have impacted so many people's lives individually that you don't even know about.
Thank
So
you.
I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your
Thank you.
day and out of your Sunday K-pop day
No.
to sit with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here, and I wish you lots of success. Again, what you're doing is phenomenal.
We will find you your Skinderbell, and you're
Yes.
going to be an amazing mom.
Thank you, and I hope to. Sorry, I'm not out there as much because I'm not a very big social media person, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll start posting a little bit
Well,
more.
we want to know your trip to Ulqin and the progress and everything that's
Absolutely.
happening with the volleyball team and the karate.
Take some
Absolutely.
pictures and we
Yes,
can
I
share
will.
as well.
I
Follow
will.
Etrita Ibroci so we can see, how
Oh,
things
yeah.
are
will.
going.
I
What's
will.
your social Instagram, or you don't really use it?
I do have. I think it's EIBROCI. I think it's in there.
Okay.
Definitely want to see what's
Thank
happening
you.
with the volleyball team and the karate team.
Will do. And don't forget, I just want to end, don't forget to get involved and be involved with, be it an Albanian or an American organization, non-for-profit, maybe for-profit, whatever you want, but be involved. There's a lot of amazing Albanian organizations out there. I was part of APEN. I was part of Albanian American Women's Organization, Motra, which I send my best wishes to all the ladies there. So there's a lot of amazing organization, Trojetora, that I mentioned. So I'm doing a little bit of marketing here, but
So it's
Plus
again,
NAC,
plugins.
you were part of NAC as
NAC,
well.
it dissolved,
yeah.
but we made an impact because we were, at that time, again, there were big decisions that needed to be
Right.
made.
Yes.
There was so much advocacy that needed to be made, marching in Washington, D.C., fighting for Kosovo. So there was no social media, so there's no, you won't see any of this, but we did it, and I'm very proud of it. And, some people that I also have to mention here and thank is, another one is Fadil Berisha, who is one of my favorite people in the world. And I do hope he listens to this. And yeah, that's
Oh, we'll
another
send it to
person.
him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
another
we'll do.
person that's been instrumental, in my work in the community over the last 2.5 decades, and also is an inspiration to me, as well as you and your sister. And
We love you.
I love you more. And my parents, I have to mention, they are my role models. When we talk about role models and when we talk about inspiration, they are my inspiration. And my siblings, we're three of us. We're very different, and we've gone through so many ups and downs. There's a lot of Albanian American families that have come here. It's not easy. There's different currents that pull you in different directions.
But in the end, you all stay together.
We all stay together. And then I also have another beautiful best friend who's been my friend for 5 decades, Flutra Gorana, who also does amazing work, and she's part of War Child. This is an organization that makes an impact on a global scale, and I'm always in awe what she does on a daily basis.
She's an impressive woman.
And I can't leave without mentioning my cousin Hajira, one of the strongest women in my life. And I hope all the girls out there, you have someone that you look up to. And I have Hajira, I have Flutra, I have you and your sister, and I have my sisters. So, and a beautiful, as you know, we have a beautiful group of women and friends that we've been together for a very long time. So as a woman, it's important to have this network of women to help you and navigate,
It's
this
okay
crazy,
to ask for help.
Yeah, this crazy life that we
Right.
live in today. It's okay to ask for help because mental health is very important. We don't talk much about it, and it's important. It's not, talking about you're crazy or you have crazy thoughts. It's about finding that peace, that tranquility, and just that happiness.
Calmness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we're definitely going to have a mental health session eventually.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a therapist on the show. But thank you for being here. It
My
was a pleasure. And we'll stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
at
you.
see you at my Halloween party.
Oh, yes,
Thank
the
you,
best
guys.
one.